In the books read and discussed in class, we've encountered themes of femininity as they manifest in various ways. Most prevalent in the narratives of Love Medicine and Lakota Woman, the two novels portray different fonts of female oppression and highlight the intersectional experience of Native women specifically. And the discussion of intersectionality really stood out for me in class because it was a topic that I had learned about previously in my psychology of sexuality and gender studies courses. Although I liked best the definition of the term that I absorbed from you, in which intersectionality is the influence of different identities on the way one interprets and is interpreted by the external world. In the case of the novels, the characters' identities not only consist of Native American and women, but also mothers, wives, political figures, senior citizens at some points. And according to the theory of intersectionality, it's like the miasma of these labels which expresses itself at all times, not one independent of the other. So first, I want to discuss how the characters' roles changed in motherhood, or as mothers. Motherhood is stereotypically portrayed as a more mellow, domesticated position that a woman takes once she bears children. However, I think this to be a very black and white definition, in which many of the characters of the novels we have read cannot fall between its simple lines. This, in many cases, is due to their intersectional experience as Native Americans and women that have caused them to experience motherhood prematurely or outside the stereotypical realm which defines it. For instance, we observe how multiple women have to mother their husbands or partners because many of the men are irresponsible and only act on the brute emotions of an underdeveloped adult, somebody who didn't mature past the age of, 16. King Cashpaw from Love Medicine is a great example of a man who was mothered by his wife Lynette because she is constantly soothing him whenever he has his tantrums, even though he's undeniably abusive towards her. The idea that one mellows when entering motherhood is also affected by the Native experience. I want to focus specifically on the characters Lulu Lamartine and Marie Cashpaw from Love Medicine. In Lulu's case, she did not let motherhood prevent her from sleeping around with men on the reservation and bearing many of their children under different fathers. In her explanation for doing so, she describes herself as appreciative of the land and its natural beauty and all this BS, and perhaps the land in this case is a metaphor for men. This perspective could have arisen because some people are just more sexually open than others. Maybe she's one of those people. Or her perspective could have been influenced by the Native way of life before colonization, in which Native families took on many fathers, many mothers, and sex was more often liberal than the monogamous ways in which it has been constricted to. Marie Cashpaw is similar in that she has not let motherhood dim her, sassy, sort of passive-aggressive spirit. She also takes on a role that could be reflective of an older way of Native American life, mothering many of the abandoned children in the community. It was standard before colonization that the community pitches in to help raise the generations of children. Thus, the responsibilities of parenthood did not fall solely on two individuals, but, everyone in the res. Although Marie is really the only one raising these lost children, and she's not supported by a community, she still sees the importance of upholding a community value that no child is left behind. Additionally, I want to touch on how a woman is interpreted by the external world based on the identities that she holds. In the case of Mary Crow Dog in her autobiography Lakota Woman, her role as a political figure was undermined by others in the American Indian movement, not only because she was a woman whose opinion was less valued than a man, but also when she became a mother. These expectations for a Native mother is to raise her children and to take on more domestic responsibilities like home building, especially looking after her husband. Thus, within the movement, perhaps the members began to silence her voice a little bit or her ideas because they saw her place now as within a child-rearing realm instead of a political one. This is not the only case in Native American media that we've seen women being limited in their earned respect and capabilities due to motherhood. And in Reservation Dogs, which is a different form of media, it's on TV, but many of the same themes carry over, as we've seen. These expectations of motherhood and a woman's responsibilities persist. Let's watch the following clip and see what they say specifically.